I started my shift that afternoon the same way I always did, rolling open the metal door of the delivery van. The warehouse lights buzzing overhead, the air thick with cardboard dust and the smell of diesel. Mid-December in South Florida meant the heat hadn't completely backed off, so sweat gathered on my forehead before I even left the loading bay. Everyone was pushing hard for the holiday rush. The aisles were packed, workers shouting over each other. Conveyor belts rattling as gifts for strangers shot past in every direction. I'd been driving for Amazon for 2 years, mostly running around Fort Lauderdale quiet family neighborhoods, retirees, folks walking their dogs, kids biking home before dinner. Nothing exciting, nothing dangerous, just long days, long miles, and one package after another. I didn't mind it. Extra hours meant extra money, and extra money meant better presents for my wife and kids. Christmas was close, and that alone kept me moving. The dispatcher handed me a thick stack of stops more than usual. "Busy night," he muttered, rubbing his temples. "Watch the traffic. People are out of their damn minds this week." "Got it," I said, tucking the scanner into my vest. I climbed into the van, the seat creaking under me, and fired up the engine. The air conditioner struggled for a second before kicking in. Then I hit the road, weaving through streets lined with palm trees that shimmered under the streetlights. For hours, everything was routine. Park, drop off a box, scan, snap a photo, back into the van, repeat. The kind of monotony that makes your brain drift thinking about what my daughter wanted for Christmas, thinking about how tired my wife must be chasing the kids all day, thinking about how good it would feel to finally get home. By the time I reached my last few stops, the sky had gone deep purple. Most houses had their Christmas lights on, twinkling across manicured lawns. My next stop was on Northwest 10th Terrace, a darker, quieter side road with long stretches between homes and plenty of shadows where the street lamps didn't quite reach. When I turned in, the van suddenly jerked hard to the right. At first, I thought I hit something, but then came the sickening rhythmic flapping sound, rubber slapping pavement. "Flat tire. Perfect," I muttered. I pulled over beneath a street lamp that flickered like it couldn't decide whether to stay alive or die. It wasn't my first flat tire. I changed plenty on the job. I grabbed the tools from the back, knelt by the wheel, and started loosening the lug nuts. That's when I saw him, a figure crossing the street toward me, average height, dark clothes, hood up, hands buried in his pockets. He didn't look drunk, didn't look lost. He moved with this steady, controlled stride, like he already knew exactly where he was going, exactly what he wanted. "You need help?" he asked. His voice was wrong. Too calm, too empty, no concern in it. No curiosity, just flat. I looked up. "No thanks. I'm good." He didn't stop walking, not even a pause. Before I could stand fully, he reached into his pocket and pulled out something small and black, a stun gun. It crackled to life, a burst of sparks lighting his face for half a second. Then he pressed it into my ribs. Electricity tore through me like my entire body was being ripped apart from the inside. My muscles seized, locking up so hard I couldn't even scream. The lug wrench slipped from my fingers, clattering against the pavement. My breath caught in my throat and I collapsed sideways, trying to understand what was happening. "Why?" I gasped. "Give me the keys," he said. Not angry, not desperate, just cold, robotic. Before I could respond, he shocked me again, this time on my arm. The pain was so raw I nearly vomited. I fell to my knees, vision swimming. My body felt like it was short-circuiting from the inside out. He reached into my pocket and yanked out the key fob. Then he pulled the knife. The blade glinted under the flickering street lamp, a brief flash of silver like a warning I couldn't comprehend fast enough. Everything in me froze. "This isn't just a robbery," I whispered. He lunged. The first slash tore across my shoulder, fire spreading down my arm as blood soaked through my uniform. I stumbled back, hands raised. "Take the van," I yelled. "Just take it." But he wasn't listening. He stabbed again, this time in my side. Deep. I felt the blade punch through skin, muscle, something vital. The air left my lungs in a choking gasp. I grabbed his wrist, fighting back with everything I had. We fell sideways, hitting the pavement hard. My vision tunneled, heartbeat roaring in my ears. This guy didn't want the van. He wanted me. My hands scraped the ground until I felt the metal of the lug wrench. I wrapped my fingers around it and swung blindly, cracking it against his knee. He let out a grunt, more irritated than hurt, and loosened his grip just enough. I shoved him off and staggered to my feet, blood running warm down my torso. My legs were shaking, but adrenaline forced me forward. I sprinted toward the nearest house, the porch light glowing like a lifeline. I pounded on the door. Help! Help me! Please! Nothing. I hit it harder, practically throwing myself at it. Still nothing. Behind me, his footsteps approached slow, patient, like he knew I wasn't going anywhere. "You're done," he called, voice drifting across the street. Terror surged through me. I turned and ran, lungs burning, vision dimming at the edges. I rounded the corner and spotted a small convenience store up ahead. Warm light poured through the windows. People inside. I pushed my legs harder, even as they started to buckle. The door slammed open when I crashed into it. I stumbled inside, collapsing against the counter. "Call 911, I gasped. He stabbed me." The clerk's eyes went wide. "Oh my God. Sit down. Sit down." Two customers rushed over. One grabbed a towel. Another held me upright as I slid down the counter. "Stay with us, man. Stay awake." The world blurred. Spots of light flickered in and out. My chest felt tight, every breath a struggle. Someone shouted that police were on the way. Someone else said my shirt was turning red too fast. Sirens wailed in the distance. Then everything went dim. When I woke up in the ambulance, a paramedic leaned over me. "You've got 7 stab wounds," he said. "One punctured your lung. We're keeping it inflated. Stay with us." I tried to speak, but all I could do was nod weakly. Later at the hospital, after surgery, after questions, after the long, slow return of sensation to my body, the police told me they caught him. Curtis Gardner, 33, long record, violent history. They said he slashed my tire beforehand, that he was waiting for me. Attempted murder, armed robbery, premeditated. Weeks passed. I healed physically, more or less. Scars marked where his knife had entered. But the mental scars, those stayed sharper. I quit the job, found something safer. Something that didn't require stepping into dark neighborhoods with my back turned. But sometimes, driving home at night, I still see him. The way he walked, the way he didn't hesitate, the way the stun gun crackled before the world lit up with pain. And even now, whenever I see a delivery van pulled over on the side of the road under a flickering street lamp, a chill runs through me. Because I know how quickly things can go wrong, how fragile a life can be, and how close I came to losing mine on a quiet street just days before Christmas. I had been driving for the food delivery app for about 6 months when the holiday rush hit full force. Extra orders meant extra money, and with 2 kids at home, I needed every dollar I could squeeze out of the night. So on Christmas Eve, instead of winding down with my family, I decided to work late. Most people were gathered around living rooms, eating leftovers or unwrapping early gifts, but there were always a few who still wanted their meals delivered hot. My phone kept buzzing with pickups from diners and fast food joints that stayed open through the night. I told myself I'd finish by 2 o'clock in the morning, go home, and wrap presents before the kids woke up. The first few runs were easy. I grabbed a bag of burgers from a drive-thru and dropped them off at an apartment complex. The guy at the door handed me a $5 and said, "Merry Christmas, man. Stay safe out there." I smiled, told him the same. Next was a pizza order to a house at the edge of town. A tired-looking mom answered, hair messy, dark circles under her eyes, but still trying to be polite. "Thank you for coming this late," she said. "My husband works nights, too." We talked for a minute about how crazy the season was. She tipped well, and for a moment the job felt human, warm. But as I stepped back into my car, I noticed a sedan parked across the street with its lights off. 2 figures sat inside, silhouettes barely moving. I brushed it off. Plenty of people sit in cars late at night. Still, the image stuck in my mind as I drove to my next pickup, a Chinese place downtown. While waiting inside, I called my wife. "Hey, love," I said. "Just a couple more orders. Then I'm done." She sounded uneasy. "Don't push it too hard tonight. Empty roads freak me out." I laughed. "I'll be fine. Kiss the kids for me." But when I got back on the road, my rearview mirror caught something that made my stomach dip. The same sedan from earlier was behind me. Same shape, same headlights. I told myself it was coincidence. But when I turned onto a side street toward the next drop-off, the sedan turned too. The house was quiet, porch light glowing faintly. I left the bag by the door and snapped the proof photo for the app. As I walked back, the sedan rolled slowly past me. The windows were tinted black, impossible to see through. I kept my head down and my pace even, but my pulse was hammering. They didn't stop, but they wanted me to know they were there. Inside my car, I locked the doors fast. Another order popped up. Denny's, 10 minutes away. Good tip promised. I sighed and accepted. That tip would go straight toward the kids' gifts. But as I pulled onto the main road, the sedan reappeared in my mirror like it had been waiting. My throat went dry. I called a friend who also delivered at night. "You out?" "Yeah." "Why?" "Think someone's following me." He didn't joke, didn't laugh. "Turn around if you can, or call the cops." "Don't brush it off, man." I hung up with a promise to be careful. At a red light, I stared into the mirror. The sedan was 2 cars back. The moment the light changed, I sped up. I pulled into the Denny's parking lot, one of the few places still alive this late. Inside, people were scattered around a family with kids sharing pancakes, 2 workers on a break, a few night owls. It felt safe in a way the empty streets didn't. "Pick up for Johnson," I told the waitress at the counter. 5 minutes, she said with a tired smile. While I waited, 2 young guys walked in. Hoodies, masks, hands buried in pockets. They didn't order. They sat near the door, whispering to each other, throwing glances my way. I pretended to scroll on my phone, but every nerve in my body was on high alert. The waitress handed me the bag. "Drive safe." "Thanks," I said, but my voice felt thin. Outside, the cold air slapped me awake. My car was only a few steps away. I reached for the handle. Footsteps. Fast. I spun around. The 2 guys from inside were almost on me. One had a baton, the other something metallic in his hand, a gun or a fake. I didn't have time to figure it out. "Keys and wallet," the baton guy growled. I got family," I stammered. "Please." The one with the gun lifted it, pointing it square at me. "Now." My heart hammered so hard I felt it in my throat. The diner door was 20 feet away. If I shouted, maybe someone inside would notice. But they were too close, too fast. The baton guy swung. The hit cracked against my arm, white-hot pain exploding up to my shoulder. I dropped the food. "Stop!" I yelled. "Help!" The gun guy grabbed my shirt, yanking me forward. "Shut up!" Adrenaline made the world narrow to a tunnel. I twisted hard, shoving him back. He stumbled, surprised. That was my only chance. I ran. The baton slammed across my back, knocking the breath from my lungs. I hit the pavement, skinned my hands, tasted blood. "Get him!" the gun guy barked. I scrambled up and threw myself at the diner door, banging with everything I had. Inside, people shot to their feet. The waitress screamed, "Call 911." The attackers froze when they saw everyone watching. And then, as if on cue, faint sirens wailed somewhere in the distance. Maybe unrelated, but loud enough to rattle them. They grabbed my keys off the ground, sprinted to my car, and peeled out of the lot. I slumped against the door, gasping, my arm throbbing like it was on fire. The manager rushed out. "Oh my God, are you okay?" I think so," I croaked. They took my car. Police showed up minutes later. I gave them everything I could. 2 teens, dark hoodies, masks, one taller than the other. They found my car abandoned a mile away, emptied of everything but a few old delivery bags. No arrests that night, but the officers said the description matched a string of robberies. I spent Christmas in the hospital with a fractured arm, bruised ribs, and a wife who couldn't stop shaking as she held my hand. The kids climbed into the bed with me, completely unaware how close things had come. "Never again," my wife whispered. "No more late nights." Even now, months later, I still check my mirrors every time I drive. That night taught me something brutal and simple. Danger doesn't announce itself. One